What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by real quick. If you didn't mind hitting a like on this video, possibly subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. Kart 6T3 is brought to you by Track Tack Tire Treatments, Burris Racing Tires, and BeardOctane.com. Now, the thumbnail, I don't know how it turned out yet because I haven't made it yet. You guys will see it eventually here, or you'll see it and then you'll watch it. Anyway, what I'm getting at is this is supposed to be a vlog, but I'm not exactly comfortable doing vlogs, as you're going to see. I think everything went pretty okay. I knew I could do it. It's just a bit weird for me holding a GoPro, talking to the camera with people around. It's, you know, there's one thing about these videos is I know that there's some people have this concept that they'd be a little nervous in front of the camera. When it's just you in a barn and I'm looking at the back of my cell phone, not that big of a deal to me. Conveying my thoughts onto video, no problem, Bob. But when you're walking around and you're holding a GoPro pointed at yourself and you're talking while people are looking at you, totally different thing. So I will get better at it. It's not going to be the mainstay of this channel, but it was fun to do. It was fun to experiment with what the guys are doing down in Florida. Just a couple of them. Also, Alex Hamilton Racing does it. Real good at the vlogging type thing to putting that out there. And I thought I'd try it. You know, I'll dip my pinky toe in the water before I jump headfirst into it. But obviously, this is more of a learning style channel to whereas I'm doing this with you. So anyway, I went to Weedsport last week. We are going to jump into my vlog. We'll call it a vlog for fun. It's not actually a vlog. I forgot to talk while I was recording some stuff, so you're going to catch some of that too. There's footage from Weedsport. There's also the Insta 360 footage from when I was practice, qualifying, and then the race. I did get my butt hurt. Maybe I was butt hurt a little bit. I got my butt kicked, but let's watch a video. I'll come back with a follow-up. Okay, here we are. Hitting the road to go to Weedsport. Actually, everything got backed up. I was supposed to be on the road by, what, 6:30, something like that. Gates are at 8:30. Everything got backed up due to weather. So, it's like 8 o'clock. It's okay. Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. I already had coffee. Good to go. So we're going to do a little driving and see you in a bit. My GoPro is telling me there's no battery in it when it's a fully charged battery. Huh. Okay, we are here. It is windy, it is cold, but we are we're gonna get unlocked here and get unloaded and check out the track and stuff. But want to see what this looks like? 10 tons of crap. 5-pound bag. Starting to fill in. PRP there. People do not care that it is cold. I could have parked closer apparently, but I have not done that. You can tell we're in New York. You got a whole bunch of elevates here, a whole lot of slacks. Switch shop. Guys. Get a transponder. Really nice facility. There's the track. Have had a bunch of weather lately, so here it's going to be maybe a tick on the rough side, but boy, not bad. track here. Assuming exit there. There's the big chunk. They just called for a driver's meeting. We're gonna head up there. Check that out. Oh, look at the cart real quick. Oh, very nice. Oh. All right, let's go to driver's meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna do junior red rolling, but the same thing. We're gonna wave the green right at that corner last year instead of using the cones.
Driver's meeting done. We are putting my other visor on, and looks like practice in about 15 minutes ish, give or take. Where is my attendant visor? There we go. All right, got it. But yeah, going out. Super heavy goes out first. Big hefty guys get the pack in the track apparently. So there's that. All right, guys. Practice is done. Track's interesting. Definitely got a little tight off before. Wall comes up in a hurry. You probably have seen that by now, but cleaned some tires. Seemed to come in there. It felt good. Somebody said that I was within the ballpark, so we'll go after it.
Let's go, Junior Blue.
All right, we are in the barn here, qualifying coming up soon. I am fourth out, first class first class up, fourth out in my class. I think there's 6 of us today in Super Heavy because I'm thick. So, all right. Okay, qualified 4th out of 6th. I'm a bit off. It's first time at this track. Excuse, a bag of excuses. But it is what it is. Like an 11.2, I think pole was a 10.6. Mind you, I am on Burris 33s that are 2019s. I have a fresh set for the feature. Hopefully they're not too soft. But I saw somebody sitting up ahead of me who was on 25s, so I'm pretty sure they out-qualified me. It depends on how sticky they get. Make sure I got enough stagger, and yeah, we'll go on to the feature and see how we do. well, that was an experience. Brand new tires, very tick soft for the day. I knew people were going to be on 23s, 24s. I actually had an opportunity to buy some 23s a couple weeks ago. I should have, is what it is. Or I should have stayed on my 19s. Not quite sure, but definitely got the... Yeah. Got some... Okay, so as I was saying, I think the 25s I have were just too soft in general. I only did a couple laps SQS. It's cooler out. You know, aggressive, bring them into the track. But I think the Duro was a bit low on them. As I was saying, I think maybe the 19s probably would have held up a little better. But first time here. It's definitely it's a driver's track, and it's also a setup track. You have to know what you're doing with tires. You have to know what you're doing with setup. I mean, I'm racing against a whole bunch of people that have been here a while and been here for years and know exactly what the track wants. And I listen to people. I wouldn't be afraid to come back. I definitely need tires. I definitely would need some more tires in order to be competitive on the track. I think everybody warned me about 3 and 4. 3 and 4 was pretty good for me. The way I was entering, setting up, it seemed like it took a nice yaw coming into the turn. But then as soon as I got to 1 and 2, it really messed with me, and I was I think it was getting a little tight center, and then I would put some wheel into it and I would lose the rear end. So I'm gonna have to, you know, consider where I'm at with that. You know, finish 5th out of 6 is what it is. The gentleman behind me, you know, he pulled off, and I saw that they started doing things with the flags, like the leaders were coming. I was about to get lapped, and rather than I got out of line, and once I got out of the line, to give them room, I didn't know how close they were gonna close on me. Just as I was taking the blue and yellow there, just pull off. I don't want to be the reason for somebody losing a race when I'm just learning. Like I said, you know, I've said it a billion times, this is my 2nd year running clone, and I just want to learn. I don't expect to win. I'm competitive. It doesn't mean I have quit in me, but there's a lot to learn about this process. There's a lot to learn about this style of racing that it's going to take me a minute to get to. So, all right, that was so it's Weedsport. It was fun. It's like an hour and a half for me. Not too bad, but had a blast. I want to thank all my the sponsors. Track Tech, Beard Octane, Burris Racing. So yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side or something later. Too soft. Well, I appreciate you sticking with me. If you watched the whole video just to get to this part, I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication to the channel and to watching me speak about things. Anyway, first and foremost, I am not a defeatist. I am a positive person. I am somebody who thinks that things can go better always. You can do better, and that's exactly what I did throughout the day. I got better. I think I started off at like a 12-1 in practice. I came off, somebody said, hey man, it's respectable. Your first time here, not knowing the track, your first time in a clone there, needed to take some teeth off the rear gear, things like that. First time out, pretty good. I improved quite a bit between qualifying and then feature time. My lap times incrementally came down, which is fantastic. Was I fast enough to hang with the crowd? No. As you saw, they just completely drove away from me. I kept on hearing about turns 3 and 4. That's obviously coming to the checker flag. And in practice, I felt that sensation a little bit, that it just wanted to take off towards the wall. I ended up fixing the line coming into the turn, which helped my exit there. No problem. 1 and 2 really kind of messed with me. It seemed that I couldn't get the timing quite right to where I lifted correctly. I tried to wide open in qualifying. That did not work. I ended up just getting too tight. It was washing up way too quick, and that cost me a bunch of time. But it was more so 1 and 2. I was warned coming into the race weekend that 3 and 4 was going to be the problem. 3 and 4 wasn't my problem. 1 and 2 was my problem. So, leave it to me to go ahead and do that. As a general consensus of Weedsport, fantastic facility, A++. Awesome, very well run. I know it was it was colder out. It was first race of the season. Maybe a little light on entries for the first race of the season, but everything was very well run. There was no dilly-dallying. We got in. Even with a late start, I got out of there at I think the gates opened at like 10. And I was on the road back to my house at like 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. And it could have been sooner than that had I kind of rushed out. But I watched a couple of races, talked to some people after the races type of thing. Now, as far as my overarching opinion of it, we'll take out that fantastic facility, and all that stuff. To me, it is outdoor, indoor racing. If you have ever ran indoor and felt a lot of those G-forces, the way the kart needs to cut through the center of the turn, into the turn and through the turn, the way they run the track in, I believe it, they rim calcium, and then the way everybody preps their tires, Burris 33 mandatory rule, my stuff was either too old or too new. I think if I had somewhere in the 2023 age range tires, I would have been spot on. What they do is you roll up before you get to that point. It says no prepping beyond this point. Super aggressive. You're running GoPro. You're going LS4. In my case, I ran some SAA Great because it was cooler out. I had somebody tell me that they ran the track tack line there. They ran Topaz, which is closest to GoPro that I think there is in the track tack line. Super aggressive. Basically, you're melding the prep to the prep, or the tire to the prep, and not the tire to dirt per se, because as you go out, it's real slick. You see everybody's prep. You go out on the asphalt, that's slick with prep. You get out on the track, and it is all just grip. All sorts of grip. There might have been a little more than the line there. I mean, it looked like it blacked off across it. I wasn't willing to venture out there. We're all running pretty much the same line type of thing. But it was very interesting to know it is yes, a driver's track. You have to be on the button, but more than that, more than just being a wheelman, which we all try to be. I think you have to have your setup just nail it, and definitely you have to be on there with tires. There's such a thing as a fresh set every time you hit the track. I did not have those fresh sets. I think I almost would have been better sticking. I had a set of 2019s and I had a set of 2025s. The 2019s were they were seasoned enough that the track wasn't getting into them. I could have been even more aggressive with those, I think, and got them into the track the way I needed to. The 2025s, I only put them on for the feature. I only stayed out there for 15 laps before I was going to get in the leader's way. I did not want to be in the leader's way. I did not want to cost anybody any positions, anything like that. So as I saw the blue and yellow come out, I just pulled off. But in 15 laps, my brand new 2025s were too soft. And I was not aggressive with them. I think I did a couple wipes of SQS just to bring them into the track, knowing full well I did not want to soften this set of tires, knowing full well it was going to take a slightly harder set. But in 15 laps, I chewed up the edges a little bit, and that amount of grip on that track. It is a very fast, bull ring-ish type track that you just need to be on everything. You need to be up on the wheel. You need to have the setup correctly and setup correct, and you need to know what tires work and when to put them on, when to prep them, and all that stuff. It was all in all awesome experience. I really had a good time. Had some great conversations. My friends, the Axtons, were there. They did really well. But just learning the entire track as a whole, I love that experience. When you go to a new track and you have people like, hey, suggesting things you might want to do is take some gear out. PRP was there, and he's just like, I'd take out a couple teeth, which was the correct call. Thank you very much. Dom, sorry, I drew a blank there real quick, but he suggested taking a couple teeth out. That was the correct decision for it. I really appreciate everybody coming in, knowing full well this was my first time out, and I'm sure it happened at other, in other camps, at other trailers, that, hey, why don't you try this? Hey, what are you running here? What are you doing for pressures? That type of thing. I think everybody there wants to win, and they know what it takes to win, but they're not afraid to lend a hand to a competitor. It was just my experience. Maybe mine was different than other people. Maybe some people, I'd heard horror stories about Weedsport and the rough driving. Never saw it all day long. Maybe this was the exception, but I had a great time. Maybe some people have a different opinion of it than me, but hey, I was there once, had a wonderful time. I thought it was really cool. It makes me want to go back. Will I make it back this season? We'll see about that. I definitely need tires. I definitely need tires in order to keep up with the track, in order to perform better on track. I think the kart setup is fairly close. A couple adjustments. Engine on par. No problems there. I need to be better on tires. Maybe a little tweaking to the setup for that track, and I think I could hold my own there. I don't think I can beat the guys that have been there for years because they just have that little bit of edge. They know, but I think with my improvements of time, and I got within 4/10 of where the leaders were in the feature. I mean, 4/10 is a lot, but for somebody who has never been there, 4/10 is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good for somebody who was on an extremely old set of tires, an extremely new set of tires. It was just an all-around experience. I really had a good time. I look forward to going back. We'll see if it happens this year or not. I'm working on the open stuff. I got some UAS points to acquire here. I want to go run with my buddy. So I'll run the clone some. Definitely going to be doing that. I'm going to try and balance it. I really am. I'm going to try and run the open. I'm going to try and run the clone. And I just don't know if I'll make it back out Weedsport. But it was a fantastic experience. If you're thinking about going, I highly suggest it. If anything, it gives you a barometer in New York of what fast guys do and what fast guys look like. And I don't want to say guys, people. Maybe there's some girls out there are super fast too. But in general, where kind of some of the elite drivers in New York go to Weedsport and can get around that track, I think you're going to find it at Weedsport. That's just my opinion. So there you go, guys. I appreciate you hanging with me this entire time. If you stuck around, again, like I said, if you stuck around this long after the vlog, I appreciate you listening to me ramble about it and hearing my experience there. But okay, Kart 63 is brought to you by Track Tire Treatments. Tire Treatments, Burris Racing tires, which we use at Weedsport, and beardoctane.com, making my beard look fresh. I got myself trimmed up. I mentioned it last video, like it was getting a little out of sorts. Got it on point again. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you Thursday for Dirt Kart Racer Live, and then next week for another video. Later.